What's up out there? We are back with a little bit more of the original Diablo running in the Beelzebub mod for it. As you can see, I have the Rift to Hell opened up down here, and I've got some of the other shortcuts opened up. You open them up as you go along. There's the caves down there, and there was this thing up here. I don't remember if this underground passage was part of the original game or not, but I just ran that here a minute ago. And we are down to actually level 14. So the waypoint system here is something that was brought in by the Beelzebub mod. I'm down to level 14 of Hell. There's 2 more levels to 16, and then we're down into that. And I've been having a blast playing this. It's been really cool coming back in here. I got a whole bunch of items to switch over for a melee character if I want to try it. We've got a whole bunch of stuff built up in here. Got a bunch of books if I want to do a magic character. And this is a trade stash, so any character I create within this mod can share all this gear. So I've been saving up stuff, like I got a whole bunch of potions saved up. I got all these books saved up, some weapons, some armor, stuff like that. I've kind of just started dumping a lot of stuff in here. The other thing this mod adds is this anvil system, which is the crafting portion of it. So I found the Rogue's Amulet, Rogue's Belt. They've added a couple of 3 new classes to this, and I think Assassin's one. Basically, you'll find a little scroll thing that's like orange or maybe a dark yellow, muddy yellow or something like that. You right click on it and it gives you this recipe. So I've found these recipes here. I've got the recipe for this bow. If I try to craft it, I thought I had everything I needed, but then I realized there's some scroll down I needed to do. But the way you actually get items is you go grab something, like I could go talk to him, come around here, chat with Griswold in here, and it has to be, from what I understand, it has to be a blue item. So some form of magical. So we'll just buy this belt. Blue or rare, it can't just be a plain white normal item. So what I want to do is salvage this, drop this over into here, and then it turns into this azure oil, and you just get stacks of that stuff. So all these little materials here came from things that I've broken down. I've been grabbing stuff down in the dungeon and just bringing it up and dropping it off. And as you can see, I've built up a stash of things. Where did I leave off? Went down in, we'll just go back down in the dungeon. You know what? Let's go to level 14. I think I was on 12 for a little bit. You hit the tilde key and it pops this out, the potion thing on the side. Now, for some reason, my melee character has 3 rows of these. I don't know if I grabbed a better belt or something. I'm not sure. So if you stand in place, like a lot of the tactics that how to play this game came back to me. You hit the control key, it shows you stuff on the floor. That's a new feature for this. Oh, I don't have that spell. The rogue shows you if the chest is trapped by showing it red. But a lot of the little holding the shift key and shooting stuff, that's something that, you know, that's like old tricks and tips from back in the day. We can go to level 15. All right, let's go see what's on level 15. How much trouble can this be? This has gotten brutal, and I have died a lot. Things have gotten considerably faster down here and a lot harder hitting. What do we got? Pit Lords. He's not too bad, but he's also at ranged. So you'll notice that I'm running a rogue now instead of a warrior. I actually switched over. I got down into the cave section or something down there, and I started having to chase stuff down. All the range stuff in this game just sucks. You have to chase things down. It gets miserable to do, and I ended up switching over to range just to not have to deal with that anymore. These Azure Drakes, oh yeah, Azure Drakes suck. Those things hit fast. So the idea is that you want to take angles, get away from stuff. You don't want to get pinned in. You do not want to get stun locked. It's kind of it's not really a stun lock. You're blocking, like you get stuck blocking basically. And what these creatures will do is hit you so often you can't move. You get tugged back, like I just got dropped backwards. Basically, you get stun locked, especially if you get too many of them, and then all you can do is just die. I'm kind of taking some damage here trying to clear that out. But you want to be careful going around corners, that you don't go around corners with giant packs of monsters. So this is not the way that, say, Path of Exile plays, or more modern ARPGs where you've got packs of monsters and stuff. Path of Exile is kind of an outlier. It's got like thousands of monsters on the screen, you know, or in a map, not necessarily on the screen at one time, but you might clear 1,000 monsters off the map as you play. With this game, you're taking on little packs of monsters, and you don't want to take on any more than you have to at a time. And you want to really try to like work corners like this. And you notice how the lighting is the lightning bolt, the arrow, whatever it is, this lightning arrow that I'm shooting, you'll notice that it's lighting up the map. And I can see stuff in the darkness off in the distance. So I'm over here trying to prioritize particular targets. I'm trying to pick stuff off around corners. I'm trying to keep my distance from things. Like, stuff will straight up murder you quickly. I always liked playing the melee build because I could tank everything. But the problem is you have to start chasing monsters down, and chasing monsters in this game sucks. Getting surrounded by a pack of Azure Drakes is terrible. But when you're the warrior, you can do that, and it's not a big deal. So this is kind of how things go. You just kind of sit at a distance and shoot things. If you get too close, you just get destroyed. And you, like I said, you can kind of shoot off in the distance and kind of draw things out a little bit. Maybe work some of this stuff down. Like there's this one sitting there. I could shoot him at a distance before he gets to me. And then you come around a corner and there's a giant pack of stuff that comes chasing you down, or a rare monster or something. Want to be there in that fireball. The helmet that I've got has life regen on it, or not, life steal, basically life steal. But they don't call it leech or anything. Oh, yep, we need to go. Time to get out of here. This is a bad situation. Some things do, oh, like this thing's throwing poison out. So part of me wonders how this game would be received today. Like, this was a massive game back in the day. Like, it was groundbreaking. Oh, this thing's gonna, I'm dead. This thing was a groundbreaking, I gotta get out of here. This is not gonna end well. We gotta go upstairs. Yep, that is not going to end well. Time to go. I have died an incredible amount of time in this game. Oh, that's over here. Throw these potions on. Use that. Yeah. So we can actually go back to town now. Oh, that's the healing one. I just wanted to kind of show this off a little bit. I've gotten fairly far. That's level 15. There's a level 16 where you got to go fight Diablo. There's various quests that show up with this little exclamation point.
Your pardon, but I have something to tell you that you may find interesting. It was
the story is told by these NPCs.
At the tavern, Farnham was rambling about something called Azure Wrath. He also said something about a fallen angel. It was hard to understand him because he was very drunk.
The interesting thing about this is, like, they were talking about a lot of the demons and stuff. And some of this, I'm not sure how much was added with the mod and how much was actually in the original game. The mod actually brought back quests that were cut out of the original game. And there was a few things that I don't really remember in the middle part of the game. Like, you start off at level 1 and then there's 16 levels to go down through the dungeon. But you go off into like some weird plane of existence or something and kill some sorcerers or necromancers or whatever they were. There was this infested cellar. I don't remember any of this. It might have been in the base game. I just don't remember it. But I know there's some quests that are added. So it's kind of hard to tell what's new and what was cut content that was re-added back in and what was actually in the game. But it's all blended together very well. You get your story from these NPCs. There might be an NPC in the dungeon. One thing I completely forgot about was that the quests in this game were kind of dynamic. Like, when you loaded in, the mapping was procedurally generated or randomly generated, whatever the friendly term was back in the day. Oh yeah, see, this guy's gone, but I think it's because I killed the butcher. So there would be a guy dying out here, and if he was there, the butcher was down to go do that quest. If he was not there, the butcher wasn't there. And so the quests were kind of dynamic. You didn't always get the same quest. You may have to reload a few times to get the quest you need to on whatever level you were on. So it added a lot of replay to the game. And I don't really remember, like, this waypoint system was added by the mod. I don't really remember, like, I remember the catacombs and caves and the hell section and all that, and the cathedral. I remember those, but there were, like, the quests that were in, say, levels 6 through 12 or 14 or something like that. I don't really remember those. There were some cool ones where you had to pick books in a certain order, and it opened up something that came out and killed you and stuff like that. Like, there's a bunch of different quests. I don't remember those specifically. I remember the level design more, and I remember the monster death sounds, or the just the noises of the monsters. Like, you hit a skeleton and it sounds like you're hitting a bag of bones. You hit a bloated zombie, it sounds like you're hitting a bloated zombie. Like, just stuff like that. I remember the audio, the music of this. I remember all that. I remember the voice acting was really good. The village, like, this stuff seared in my mind because you spent a lot of time in here. I spent a lot of time down in hell. I remember this rift would open up and you'd go down in there. Friend of mine and I co-op this a lot, and we spent a lot of time down there. I don't remember the quest because you do the quest like once. If you played through this campaign 6 or 10 times, you only did that 6 or 10 times. If you ran the hell levels to go find gear, you ran those probably 100 times. So some of this stuff is far more memorable because I spent more time doing it trying to loot gear or get loot or whatever than I do remember the campaign and all the quests and stuff. Plus, the quests were dynamic. You didn't necessarily do all of them because some of them maybe you didn't know what to do with them. The internet was at a very early stage at that point. I don't really remember going and looking up builds or anything like that. But yeah, I have really, 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 really enjoyed being back playing this. And I think I started the conversation earlier. I kind of wonder how how people would receive this game. Like, you've got Vampire Survivors that came out that was like a total big hit, you know what I mean? And that's a total throwback game to like Nintendo or Super Nintendo, the NES or SNES days. That's not modern Nintendo. It's really older school Nintendo. And it did very well. It doesn't look that great, but it did extremely well. You know, if this game came out and was sold for $15 or $20, you know what I mean? How would this do? This was revolutionary back in the day. This started a genre. And I actually was thinking about this quite a bit. This game is very similar to the original Demon's Souls on PlayStation 3. So I was in on Demon's Souls at the very beginning too. And Demon's Souls is another game that you could play by yourself. It was really dark and grim, and like, the sound effects were great. The music was great. The dialogue on all the stuff you talked to was great. Like, it had kind of a lot of the same ideas that this one did with the shortcuts. Like, there's a shortcut over here into hell. There's a shortcut over here in the mountain that you can go to down to the caves. And then there's one over here into the catacombs and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of similarities between this and Demon's Souls. So, and I love both games. They're both in my all-time favorite list. They both started genres, so it's not real difficult to see that they were, the Demon's Souls probably took a lot from Diablo. I would say vice versa, but the one came out like 15 years after the other one. But anyway, been having a blast with it. I'm down to level 15 down there. I'm tinkering around with that. I need to build up some gear. Level 16 is where Diablo is. I'm about ready to beat this, so I thought I'd just throw a video out and chat about it here. I've put a lot of time into it. I've really enjoyed this a lot. I will say that the mod, this Beelzebub mod, the crafting with the anvil's pretty cool. The waypoint system is pretty awesome to have. I've been stacking up magic books and stuff for a mage, or the sorcerer. I think it's called sorcerer in here. So I've got a bunch of books to try out with that if I ever want to tinker with that portion of it, which I kind of want to do. I kind of want to just absorb all those books and then try the different spells, because I don't really remember the magic system in here. But anyway, just throwing a quick video out talking about this and just reliving old days. I was thinking that this doesn't really take me back to that time and place. It just takes me back to this game, how much I loved this game. Like, you know, I may have said this earlier, but you look at a photograph or you see it, you smell something, and you get taken back to that time and place in your life that was when you were a kid or whatever, and something cool happened, or, you know, some era or whatever. This one doesn't take me back to the time period. I can remember the time period that I was playing this and where I was at and what I was doing and that kind of thing. But what I remember more is this game specifically. Like, this game left a huge mark on me personally, and I've been wanting to revisit this for like 20 some years. So being able to replay this has been fantastic. And this is like going back and getting a source port for the original Doom or Doom 2 or something like that, and reliving those, playing through Duke Nukem for the first time on a source port with that, and stuff like that. It's just been fantastic going back and reliving some of these old games that I've played years and years ago, seeing them on modern hardware with widescreen. You get mod support with all kind of extra cool stuff in it. It's been fantastic. A great time to be a PC gamer. So anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.